She won't say, "Kiss me," but her body already did. 6 signs. Psychology tricks. You are missing the golden moment right now. Yes, you. She's literally giving you the green light. Her body is screaming yes. But you're pulling back because your brain is convincing you it's all in your head. You tell yourself you're being a gentleman, being respectful, not wanting to overstep. But here's the brutal, painful truth most guys never hear. Most men freeze and hesitate at the exact second a woman is desperately waiting for them to take charge and make the move. You're killing the vibe, destroying the chemistry, and turning what could be an electric, unforgettable connection into just another nice guy missed opportunity. I'm going to lay it all out for you today. No fluff, no guessing games. I'm going to teach you exactly how to spot the biological signals that mean she's genuinely interested, aroused, and open to escalation. These aren't polite social cues. These are raw, instinctual, subconscious responses from her nervous system that she can't fake or control. Once you understand them, you'll never second-guess that quiet car ride, that lingering good night at the door, or that heavy silence on the couch again. First, let's get crystal clear on the fundamental difference between polite, friendly socializing and real burning attraction. When a woman is just being nice, friendly coworker, polite acquaintance, or let's stay friends mode, everything stays within social norms. She keeps a comfortable, respectable distance, usually 2 to 4 feet. Her movements are deliberate and controlled. Her voice is steady and clear. Her body language remains neutral. Arms relaxed, but not inviting. Posture upright, but not leaning in. But when genuine attraction hits, biology overrides logic. Her prefrontal cortex, the thinking part, takes a back seat and her limbic system, the emotional primal brain, takes over. Adrenaline surges. Dopamine floods. Oxytocin starts building. She stops acting social and starts responding instinctively. Her signals become subtle, nonverbal, and loaded with anticipation. If you're waiting for her to verbally say, "Hey, kiss me right now," you're going to wait forever. Women almost never do that, and for very good psychological reasons. This brings us to the core concept every man needs to master: indirect communication in attraction. Attraction isn't a direct negotiation. For her, it's about the narrative, the fantasy, the feeling of being swept away in the moment. She wants it to feel organic, spontaneous, magical, like the stars aligned and it just happened. If she has to ask outright, it shatters the spell. It puts her in the masculine role of leading and initiating, which most women don't want in that romantic, vulnerable space. More critically, it risks her ego. If she signals subtly with her body and you don't respond, she can save face. Tell herself, "Oh, he just didn't notice." Or, "Maybe he's not that into me." No direct rejection. But if she asks verbally and you turn her down, that's a brutal, unmistakable no she can't brush off. So she creates the opening, the prolonged eye contact, the loaded silence, the slight lean, and puts the ball firmly in your court. She's testing your emotional intelligence, your attunement, your confidence. Can you read her without words? Can you feel what she's feeling? This isn't manipulation or a test to trick you. It's biology and evolution at work. Human mating has always relied on nonverbal cues because words can lie, but the body rarely does. Once you learn to read these biological green lights, hesitation disappears. Confidence skyrockets. Regret vanishes. Sign number 1. The silent gasp, breathing shift. Sign number 1 is what I call the silent gasp, the subtle breathing shift that happens before words, before movement, before anything obvious appears on the surface. This is where real awareness begins. Most men miss it completely. Why? Because their attention is glued to the obvious signals: her lips, her smile, her eyes. But attraction rarely starts in the places people stare at the most. It starts deeper in the body. It starts in the nervous system. And if you understand a few simple psychology tricks, you begin to notice the quiet signals that reveal what is really happening beneath the surface. When attraction begins to build, something powerful happens inside her body long before she consciously processes it. You move a little closer. Your voice slows down. The emotional tension in the moment thickens just slightly. That is when adrenaline begins to enter the system. Her brain senses possibility, not danger, but anticipation. The same biological system that prepares a person for action begins to activate. This is where female psychology becomes fascinating because the body often reacts before the mind decides what it feels. Her breathing changes instantly. Moments ago, she was breathing slowly and deeply from the diaphragm, relaxed and comfortable. Then suddenly, without thinking about it, her breathing becomes lighter and higher in the chest. Small, anticipatory. You may even see a tiny pause in her breathing when you lean a little closer. That brief pause is the silent gasp. It is not dramatic. It is not theatrical. It is subtle, but it is incredibly revealing. Watch the area around the collarbone and upper chest. When the emotional tension of the moment rises, the body reveals it. A small inhale, a quick catch of breath, a micropause that lasts less than a second. That is her nervous system saying something important, something meaningful might happen here. This is why understanding psychology tricks matters. It trains your awareness to see what most people overlook. And here is the rule you must remember. Do not rush. Do not react with sudden movement. Be calm. Be present. When you notice that silent gasp, slow your energy even more. That is the secret many men never learn. When attraction rises, the instinct is often to move faster. But the smarter move is the opposite. Slow down. Let the moment breathe. Let the tension build naturally. This is exactly where female psychology becomes powerful because anticipation is one of the strongest emotional accelerators in human connection. Think of it this way. Attraction grows in space, not in pressure. When you lean in slightly and her breathing changes, her body is adjusting to the possibility of closeness. If she feels comfortable, she will often lean forward just a fraction as well. Sometimes it is barely noticeable, a subtle shift of the shoulders, a slight tilt of the head, a step half an inch closer. That is the continuation of the signal. Her body is moving toward connection rather than away from it. That is the moment where calm confidence matters more than anything. Do not break the emotional rhythm by overanalyzing or filling the silence with nervous talking. Stay grounded. Stay relaxed. Let the energy of the moment do its work. The famous psychologist Carl Jung once said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." What you are witnessing in that breathing shift is exactly that reaction beginning. A tiny chemical conversation between two nervous systems. And when you begin to understand these signals, you stop guessing and start observing reality. This awareness also teaches an important lesson about how to fall in love in a healthy and natural way. Real connection is not forced. It unfolds through small biological cues that signal safety, curiosity, and attraction. The silent gasp is one of the earliest of those cues. It tells you the moment is emotionally alive. It tells you her attention is focused on you. It tells you the possibility of deeper connection is entering the room. But remember another key principle. Signals always work in patterns, not isolation. One breath shift alone does not guarantee anything. Context matters. Comfort matters. Mutual energy matters. A wise man observes the whole picture. That is why the best psychology tricks are not manipulations. They are awareness tools. They help you read the emotional temperature of the moment so you can respond respectfully and confidently. When you begin to understand female psychology, you realize something important. Attraction often speaks through the body long before it speaks through words. Breathing shifts. Posture adjusts. Eye contact lingers a little longer. These small reactions form a language that many people feel, but few people consciously recognize. The silent gasp is simply the first sentence in that language. And when you notice it, the best response is calm leadership. Move slowly. Maintain comfortable eye contact. Keep your energy steady. Let her decide whether she wants to move closer into the moment. This patience is powerful because anticipation creates emotional depth. It allows both people to feel the moment rather than rush past it. And that is the deeper lesson hidden inside this first signal. Attraction is not about speed. It is about awareness. It is about emotional timing. It is about understanding the subtle signals that guide how to fall in love naturally rather than forcing chemistry that is not there. So train your attention. Watch the breathing. Notice the small pauses. Be present enough to catch the silent gasp when it happens. Because when you start recognizing these quiet signals of female psychology, you step into a different level of confidence, the kind that does not chase connection, but calmly recognizes when it is already beginning. Sign number 2, breaking the touch barrier, intimate zone grooming. Sign number 2 is what psychologists call breaking the touch barrier through intimate zone grooming. And if you understand this signal, you will start seeing moments that most men completely overlook. Human beings move through life surrounded by invisible bubbles of personal space. Psychology textbooks describe them clearly. There is the social zone, roughly 4 to 12 feet away, where strangers stand when they talk. There is the personal zone, about 1.5 to 4 feet, where friends comfortably interact. And then there is the intimate zone, the smallest and most powerful space of all, 0 to 18 inches, the space normally reserved for lovers, partners, and close family. When someone enters that zone without invitation, it feels uncomfortable. Your body stiffens. You instinctively lean away. That is your nervous system protecting your boundaries. But attraction changes the rules. When a woman is genuinely drawn to a man, she does not wander into that space by accident. She crosses that invisible line with intention. Evolutionary biologists describe this behavior as grooming, a bonding ritual that exists across countless species. In primates, grooming is not just cleaning fur. It is connection. It is trust. It is the quiet message of, "You are part of my circle." Now think carefully about your own experiences. Has a woman ever reached out and picked lint off your shirt? Straightened your collar without asking? Brushed imaginary dust from your shoulder? Adjusted your jacket? Maybe even fixed your hair with a soft smile? Most men freeze in that moment. They laugh nervously. They say, "Thanks." Then they assume she is simply being polite or helpful. Don't make that mistake. That interpretation misses the deeper signal entirely. What she is actually doing is stepping into your 18-inch bubble and touching areas that are socially sensitive, your chest, your shoulders, your neck, even your hair. That is not random behavior. That is intentional closeness. That is grooming. In the language of attraction, grooming carries a powerful meaning. I feel comfortable enough to care for you. In the animal world, grooming signals belonging. It signals bonding. It signals interest. The same principle quietly operates in human interactions. A woman who feels nothing for you will keep distance. She will talk from across the table. She will keep her hands to herself. But when she reaches forward and begins adjusting your collar or brushing something off your jacket that was never there, she is creating a socially acceptable reason to touch you while exploring how you respond to intimacy. That moment becomes a subtle test. Will you tense up? Will you pull away? Or will you stay relaxed and present? Your reaction matters more than you think. A high-value man does not panic when someone enters his space. He remains calm. He stays grounded. He allows the moment to breathe. That calm response communicates emotional stability, the quiet confidence that naturally attracts women without effort. Do not rush. Do not flinch. Be steady. That is masculine composure in action. When you remain relaxed while she adjusts your collar or smooths your jacket, you are silently saying, "I am comfortable with closeness." That is powerful masculine energy, and women instinctively notice it. Many men miss the deeper meaning of this moment because they are too busy overthinking. Their mind starts spinning. Is she just being nice? Is this friendly? Am I imagining things? Meanwhile, the opportunity passes. The moment fades. And later, sometimes years later, that same man remembers the interaction and thinks, "Wait, maybe that meant something." Yes, often it did. When a woman enters your intimate space and touches you under the cover of grooming while holding steady eye contact, she is exposing a small piece of vulnerability. She is testing whether you understand emotional closeness. This is where many men unintentionally sabotage themselves. They respond like strangers rather than like a grounded man who understands connection. They stiffen up. They step backward. They laugh awkwardly and create distance. That reaction sends a subtle message. I'm uncomfortable with intimacy. Attraction cools instantly. But when you stay calm, when you smile slightly, when you remain relaxed and hold eye contact, you communicate something far more attractive. You show that you are a man who understands closeness without needing to chase it. That is the mindset of a high-value man. He does not beg for attention. He does not panic when attraction appears. He simply recognizes the moment and stays present inside it. This kind of grounded presence naturally attracts women because it signals emotional security. It shows that your masculine energy is stable rather than reactive, and stability is magnetic. Remember this clearly. Grooming behavior is not random politeness. It is a quiet invitation into closeness. When a woman brushes lint from your jacket that never existed, she is not fixing your clothing. She is testing connection. She is exploring chemistry. She is asking, without words, whether you are comfortable standing inside the intimate space together. Do not dismiss that moment. Do not rush past it. Be calm. Be aware. That is how a high-value man reads the room. That is how emotional intelligence and masculine energy work together. Because the truth is simple, attraction rarely announces itself loudly. It whispers through small actions. A hand adjusting your collar, fingers brushing your shoulder, a playful fix of your hair. These gestures may look ordinary on the surface, but underneath them lives a powerful signal of interest. And if you learn to recognize that signal, you will stop missing the quiet opportunities that so many men overlook. Sign number 3. Subconscious grooming, lip and hair focus. Sign number 3 is what I call subconscious grooming, lip and hair focus, and this is where attraction stops being polite conversation and starts becoming biology in motion. Her mind may still be talking about dinner, work, or the movie you both watched last weekend, but her body has already moved into preparation mode. Watch carefully. You'll see it. A light touch of her fingers to her lips while you're speaking. A brief nibble on the lower lip as she listens. Sometimes she moistens her lips without realizing it. Small gestures, quiet gestures, but meaningful ones. As the philosopher Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. In moments of attraction, the body becomes dyed with the color of its instincts. Her physiology begins to respond before her words ever do. Adrenaline rises slightly during moments of romantic tension, and adrenaline reduces saliva. The body reacts. Lips dry out. So the natural response is to touch them, moisten them, adjust them. But there is another layer here, and this is where old Stoic wisdom quietly intersects with modern psychology. The brain begins preparing for potential closeness. The mouth may soon be involved. The nervous system is getting ready. Not consciously, instinctively. And when you see these signals, you must remain steady, calm, grounded. This is where an iron mind matters. Many men panic in this moment. They overthink. They freeze. They question themselves. But Stoicism win comes from composure, from presence, from the ability to notice what is happening without rushing or hesitating. Remember the words of Seneca, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Attraction works the same way. Opportunity appears in subtle signals. The prepared man recognizes them. Now add the second part of the signal, the hair movement. She sweeps her hair to one side, slowly, sometimes casually, sometimes almost absent-mindedly. But what does that movement reveal? Her neck, her shoulder line. Evolutionary psychology has studied this gesture for decades. The neck is one of the most vulnerable areas of the human body. The carotid artery runs just beneath the skin. Sensitive nerves run along the surface. Across thousands of years of human development, exposing the neck became associated with trust and safety. It is a signal of comfort. She is not closing off. She is opening up. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that real power is calm observation. When a woman moves her hair aside and reveals her neck, she is removing barriers. She is signaling comfort in your presence. She is saying, without speaking, that she feels safe enough to relax. And safety is the foundation of attraction. Without safety, there is no closeness. Without calm energy, there is no chemistry. That is why men with an iron mind tend to create stronger connections. They are not frantic. They are not chasing approval. They are present. They notice. They respond with steadiness. And when you combine the signals, the lip touch, the slight lip bite, the hair sweep to the side, and sometimes a small tilt of the head, you begin to see a clear pattern. Barriers are being removed. The runway is being cleared. The body is literally making space for proximity. Clothing may be adjusted slightly. Hair moved out of the way. Posture softened. These are not theatrical signals like in movies. Real attraction is quieter, subtle, biological. As Epictetus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. In modern dating, that advice still holds power. Watch twice as much as you talk. Notice twice as much as you assume. A man who observes carefully understands the moment. A man who understands the moment moves with confidence. This is where Stoicism win becomes practical in everyday life. You do not need manipulation. You do not need complicated tactics. You need awareness and composure. Notice the signals. Stay relaxed. Maintain eye contact. Keep the conversation warm but calm. Do not rush forward aggressively. Do not retreat nervously. Balance is the skill. Precision is the skill. This is the mindset of the iron mind, steady, patient, observant. Many men miss this moment because they are trapped in their own thoughts. What if I'm wrong? What if she doesn't like me? That hesitation kills natural chemistry. Attraction lives in momentum. When signals appear, they are invitations to deepen connection, not to panic, not to analyze endlessly, but to remain grounded and present. In modern life, where texting, social media, and digital distractions dominate relationships, body language has become even more valuable. Screens hide signals. Real presence reveals them. When you sit across from someone and notice these subtle gestures, the lip touch, the softened posture, the hair sweep, you are witnessing something authentic that no text message can replicate. This is why old Stoic wisdom still matters today. It trains you to control your mind, slow your reactions, and observe reality clearly. A calm man reads the room. A steady man senses the shift in energy. A man with an iron mind does not chase moments. He recognizes them when they appear. And when you begin to recognize these patterns consistently, something powerful happens. Your confidence becomes quiet but undeniable. You stop guessing. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop wondering whether attraction exists. You simply notice it when it shows up. That awareness is where Stoicism win truly begins. Not in loud bravado, not in rehearsed lines, but in calm clarity. The kind of clarity that allows you to move through life, through relationships, and through moments of connection with calm strength, steady presence, and the quiet confidence of someone who understands both human nature and himself. If this insight opened your eyes, take a moment to support the channel. Like the video, share it with a friend who could benefit, and subscribe for more practical psychology and relationship wisdom. And here's something powerful I want you to anchor in your mind. When a woman feels comfortable enough to reveal small subconscious signals, touching her lips, adjusting her hair, exposing her neck, it often means she feels safe in your presence and open to connection. As Albert Einstein once said, everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Attraction is often simple. Confidence recognizes what hesitation ignores. So write this in the comments to lock the lesson into your mindset. I notice real signals and move with calm confidence. When you say it, you remind yourself that awareness, patience, and steady presence are what make a man naturally attractive. I'll see you in the next video. Stay sharp. Sign number 4. The triangular gaze, target fixation. Sign number 4 is what psychologists often call the triangular gaze, a subtle but powerful shift in eye contact that reveals far more than words ever will. And most men completely overlook it because they are watching only the obvious signals instead of the deeper patterns hidden inside female psychology. In normal conversation, people keep their gaze simple. moving from eye to eye or staying focused on the upper face, because the brain is operating in polite social mode, but attraction changes. That rhythm instantly. The pattern becomes eye to eye, then a quick drop to the lips, then back up again, forming a triangle that repeats itself without her even realizing it. And this is where real psychology tricks begin to reveal themselves, because the mind starts preparing for connection before any physical move is made. Her attention lands on your mouth for a reason, not by accident, because the brain naturally focuses on the place where a kiss would happen, almost like a silent rehearsal playing out in her imagination. This is female psychology in action, where instinct quietly begins mapping the distance between two people, measuring space, timing, possibility, and emotional safety all at once. You must understand this clearly. Attraction often whispers long before it speaks. Many men miss it because they stare too hard or analyze too loudly in their head. Don't do that. Don't lock eyes like you're interrogating her. That kills the natural flow immediately. Instead, stay relaxed. Be present. Let your awareness widen. Notice her gaze naturally during pauses in conversation, those quiet seconds when nobody is speaking and the mind relaxes. This is where the triangular gaze appears most often. One quick glance to the lips could be random. Twice begins to form a pattern. But when her eyes rest on your lips for more than a second, that is no longer coincidence. That is intention rising through subconscious signals, one of the most reliable psychology tricks revealed through body language. As the writer Anais Nin once said, "We do not see things as they are, we see them as we are." When attraction appears, the brain literally begins seeing the other person differently. The mouth becomes the focal point because the mind is exploring intimacy, imagining closeness, and quietly stepping toward how to fall in love in a natural, instinctive way. Notice how the body supports the eyes in these moments. Her posture softens. Her breathing slows. Conversation pauses just a little longer. This is the quiet rhythm of female psychology signaling comfort and curiosity at the same time. But here is the important instruction. Don't rush the moment. Be calm. Confidence is not loud, it is steady awareness. Let the moment breathe. Maintain relaxed eye contact. Smile slightly. Continue speaking normally. The goal is not to force a kiss. The goal is to recognize when the emotional door has quietly opened. Think of it like reading a map. Every signal adds another landmark. The triangular gaze is one of the clearest directions on that map. When it appears alongside grooming gestures, like her touching her hair or lightly brushing her lips, the pattern becomes even stronger. These small behaviors combine into a larger picture, one that many relationship experts describe as the early subconscious stages of how to fall in love. Attraction is rarely a dramatic explosion. More often, it is a sequence of small signals building momentum step by step. A glance, a pause, a smile, then another glance toward the lips. This is why understanding psychology tricks matters. It helps you recognize the natural language of connection rather than forcing something artificial. A calm man who understands female psychology does not panic when the moment arrives. He reads the signals. He respects the pace. He moves with awareness instead of hesitation. That is where many men between 35 and 70 suddenly realize something surprising. The rules of attraction have not changed with age. The signals are the same, only the confidence to notice them grows stronger with experience. And the triangular gaze remains one of the clearest signals the human brain produces when interest turns into anticipation. So remember the simple rule. Don't overthink. Don't stare aggressively. Be relaxed. Observe naturally. If the triangle appears once, stay present. If it appears again, recognize the pattern. And if her gaze lingers on your lips while the conversation slows and the atmosphere feels warmer, understand what her subconscious may already be exploring. That is the silent language behind how to fall in love. Not dramatic speeches, not complicated strategies, just the subtle signals of human connection, quietly written in the eyes, waiting for the man who understands the deeper psychology tricks and respects the beautiful complexity of female psychology. Sign number 5. Pupil dilation, the unfakeable lie detector. This is pure gold. One of the few signals the human body simply cannot fake under normal lighting conditions. When a woman's pupils noticeably expand while she's looking at you, that is not imagination. That is biology speaking. The sympathetic nervous system is switching on. Dopamine rises. Oxytocin flows. The body prepares for emotional and physical closeness. Her pupils widen because the brain wants to take in more of what excites her. Think about that for a moment. The eyes literally open wider to absorb you. No acting coach on earth can train someone to do this on command. You cannot consciously tell your pupils to grow. The body decides for you. That is why psychologists sometimes call the eyes the most honest part of human communication. As the writer Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, the eyes indicate the antiquity of the soul. They also reveal attraction long before words ever do. If her eyes suddenly look deeper, darker, almost a little dreamy while she holds your gaze, that is not random lighting. That is physiology. That is emotional engagement. That is a moment many men completely overlook because they are stuck in their own head instead of observing what is happening right in front of them. Now slow down and understand what this really means in real life. Imagine you're sitting across from her at dinner. You're telling a story. She's leaning in slightly. You look up and her eyes seem brighter, fuller, almost magnetic. Something about them feels more intense than a few minutes ago. That subtle change is pupil dilation, the brain responding to attraction. Her body is saying, "This person interests me," not with words, with chemistry. This is why experienced men pay attention to the eyes. They are one of the most reliable indicators of genuine emotional engagement. Don't ignore it. Don't overthink it. Observe it. A high-value man does not rush blindly, but he also does not miss the signals nature built into human behavior. He reads the room. He reads the eyes. He understands that attraction often whispers before it ever speaks. But here is where many men make a mistake. They either dismiss the signal or they panic and overreact. Don't do that. Stay calm. Be grounded. That is where masculine energy truly shows itself. Masculine energy is not loud or forceful. It is steady. It is observant. It is composed. When you notice her pupils dilate and her gaze soften, don't suddenly become nervous or awkward. Don't break eye contact immediately like you've been caught doing something wrong. Instead, stay present. Hold the moment. Maintain warm, relaxed eye contact. That is confidence. That is emotional control. Attraction grows strongest in an environment of calm certainty. When a man is comfortable in his own skin, it creates psychological safety. And psychological safety is incredibly powerful when you want to attract women naturally rather than through forced effort. There is also an interesting psychological loop happening here that many people never talk about. When you maintain calm, confident eye contact, her brain registers that stability. Her nervous system relaxes. That relaxation actually increases attraction further. It's a feedback cycle. She looks at you. Her pupils widen because she feels interest. You remain composed and present. That calm response signals confidence. Her brain interprets that as emotional strength. Attraction deepens. This is why a high-value man doesn't chase approval. He doesn't rush to impress. He allows moments to breathe. He lets the connection unfold naturally. The eyes are simply one of the first windows where that connection becomes visible. Now, let's be practical. You cannot stare like a statue waiting for pupils to expand like a science experiment. That's not the point. The goal is awareness. Real attraction shows itself through clusters of signals. Pupil dilation often appears alongside other subtle behaviors. Her gaze lingers a second longer than necessary. Her voice softens slightly. Her body angles toward you instead of away. These are all pieces of the same puzzle. When multiple signals appear together, you are witnessing genuine engagement. That's when a man with balanced masculine energy begins to gently lead the interaction forward. Not aggressively, not hesitantly, simply with calm intention. That leadership is incredibly attractive because it creates momentum without pressure. Another important truth: lighting conditions matter. Dim lighting naturally causes pupils to expand, so don't rely on this sign alone. But when the lighting stays consistent and you see her pupils visibly enlarge while focusing on you, that's when the signal becomes powerful. In psychology research, pupil dilation has long been associated with emotional interest and cognitive engagement. The body prepares to absorb more of what it finds meaningful. In simple terms, the brain is saying, I want more of this experience. And when that experience happens to be you, that's a strong indicator you're moving in the right direction. Still, remember this principle. Attraction is not about manipulation. It's about awareness and presence. A high-value man doesn't try to trick someone into liking him. He simply becomes more observant of the signals already happening. He respects them. He responds with confidence and calm leadership. That authenticity is exactly what helps him attract women in a natural and respectful way. Confidence combined with emotional awareness is far more powerful than memorized lines or scripted behavior. So the next time you find yourself in a conversation with a woman and her eyes suddenly seem deeper, softer, more captivated, pause for a moment. Notice it. Don't dismiss it as imagination. The body rarely lies. Pupil dilation is one of the most honest signals human beings produce. No performance, no conscious control, just raw biology responding to attraction. When you recognize it and stay composed, your masculine energy becomes even more noticeable. You create space for the connection to grow naturally. And that quiet awareness, that calm confidence, is exactly what separates the average man from the high-value man who truly understands how to attract women without forcing anything at all. And here's the truth most men overlook. Attraction can hide in plain sight. Words can be controlled, smiles can be polite, but the eyes don't lie. When her pupils widen and her gaze deepens, her body is revealing interest long before she ever says a word. Don't ignore the signals. Be aware. Be confident. That is how a man reads the moment instead of missing it. If you agree with this, drop a comment right now. I read the signs and I act with confidence. Like this video, subscribe for more insight, and remember, the man who understands the signals never misses the moment. Sign number 6. The meaningful pause, the silence trap. Sign number 6 is what I call the meaningful pause, the silence trap, and this single moment quietly destroys more potential kisses than almost anything else men experience in modern dating. The conversation fades. The laughter settles. Words slowly disappear. Then silence arrives. And at that exact second, most men panic. Their brain screams that the moment is awkward. They rush to fix it. They start talking fast, throwing out random jokes, asking meaningless questions, changing topics, anything to fill the empty space. But by doing that, they destroy the atmosphere she was carefully creating. Understand this clearly. That silence is not awkward. That silence is pressure. That silence is anticipation. It is a charged moment. As the writer Anais Nin once said, we do not see things as they are, we see them as we are. And many men misread this moment because their mind is restless instead of steady. What you must understand is simple. Silence is often the bridge between words and connection. Words create familiarity. Silence creates tension. Words are safe. Silence is powerful. And when a woman allows that quiet space to appear between you, she is not pulling away. She is opening the door to something deeper. In modern life, we are surrounded by constant noise, phones buzzing, notifications popping, conversations racing. Very few people know how to sit calmly inside silence anymore. But attraction often lives inside that quiet space. You cannot shift from conversation to closeness while debating favorite movies or explaining your weekend plans. At some point, the talking must stop. That is when presence takes over. If she wanted purely friendly energy, she would fill the silence immediately. She would grab her phone. She would talk about work. She would bring up her friends, the weather, anything casual. That kind of chatter acts like a shield. It protects the interaction from becoming more intense. But when she becomes quiet and stays there, holding eye contact, not checking her phone, not scanning the room, she is offering you the moment. She is watching closely, calmly, patiently. The silent question appears. Is this man steady enough to stay here with me? Or will he break the tension? This is where many men fail. They rush to speak. They laugh nervously. They throw out filler words. In that instant, they reveal something important. They cannot handle stillness. They rely on noise as a crutch. But a man with an iron mind does something very different. He does not panic. He does not rush. He understands the quiet moment is not a problem to solve. It is an opportunity to hold. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in the spirit of old Stoic wisdom, you have power over your mind, not outside events. The silence is outside you. Your composure is inside you. Stay with it. Let the moment breathe. Let the quiet stretch for 3 seconds, 5 seconds, maybe even 10. Watch carefully. If she remains there with you, eyes steady, pupils slightly wider, gaze drifting to your lips, then the signal is clear. The moment is alive. This is not about tricks. This is about presence. In a world where most people are distracted and reactive, calm presence becomes rare. And rare qualities create attraction. That is exactly the philosophy behind Stoicism win. Control your mind. Control your reactions. Let the situation unfold without rushing to escape discomfort. That is how an iron mind behaves. A steady man understands something most people overlook. Silence reveals confidence. Silence shows you are comfortable in your own skin. Silence communicates that you do not need to perform or impress every second. And that calm strength is deeply attractive. Think about it. Leaders speak slowly. Experienced people pause before responding. People who master themselves do not rush to fill space. They let the moment work for them. This is the practical power of old Stoic wisdom applied to modern relationships. Stay grounded. Stay aware. Stay calm. When silence appears, do not run from it. Use it. Let your breathing slow. Let your posture remain relaxed. Hold eye contact naturally. Feel the tension building like quiet electricity between you. That tension is not something to fear. It is the beginning of connection. Remember this simple instruction. Do not rush to talk. Do not destroy the moment. Be present. Be calm. Be patient. This mindset is exactly what Stoicism win teaches, developing an iron mind that does not crumble in uncertain moments. Because the truth is simple. Many opportunities in life disappear not because they were impossible, but because someone became uncomfortable and rushed away from the moment. A calm man does the opposite. He stays. He observes. He understands the signal. And when the moment is right, he moves forward with quiet certainty. That is the power of presence. That is the strength of old Stoic wisdom in real life. And that is how a man with an iron mind turns silence from an awkward pause into a moment of unforgettable connection. All right, my friend, before we wrap up, let me leave you with something simple but powerful. Attraction is rarely loud. It doesn't usually come with a clear sentence like, "Kiss me." More often, it shows up through small signals, the way her breathing changes, the quiet touch of her lips, the triangular gaze, the pause in conversation, the way her pupils widen when she looks at you. These are not random moments. They are natural signals happening right in front of you. Your job is not to force anything. Your job is to notice, stay calm, and lead with quiet confidence. Move with respect. Move with awareness. And remember this, the strongest men are not the ones who rush and not the ones who hesitate forever. They're the ones who understand the moment and act with composure. So my sincere advice to you is this: slow down, pay attention, trust your instincts, and respect the energy between you and her. When you learn to read the moment, connection becomes natural, effortless, and real. Thanks for spending this time with me today. I appreciate you being here. Stay sharp, stay confident, and I'll see you in the next video.